Hello everyone, back again for another instalment. Got some distressing news, unfortunately. The van's packed up on me, so I'm doing this video from the comfort of my own home. A little bit out of my comfort zone, to be fair with you, because the van is where most of my inspiration comes from, believe it or not. I spend a lot of time in there, watching the world go by and coming up with some at times crazy ideas. But so I'm at home. I should be most comfortable here, but it seems a little bit open and bare for some reason. But anyway, we'll soldier on. Hopefully the van ain't going to be too costly. I've spent an absolute fortune on it of late. It's getting to that time of its life, I think, where I've probably got to invest in a new one, which is going to be depressing really, because I don't know, motors just become a part of you, don't they, unfortunately. I mean, me and the lads call it the fun bus, but it ain't being much fun at the minute, you know what I mean? So anyway, so I hope everyone's well. Big up to everybody out there that's been following me, supporting me. Really appreciate everyone's ongoing support. It makes me really humble, and to have everyone there and coming back and watching the vids as they come up. I know I speak a load of old tripe at times, but that's just me. I just waffle, and sometimes, by the sounds of it, some good comes out of it occasionally. So I'll carry on. As long as you guys are happy, I'm going to carry on making them. So today I've got some notes, believe it or not. You can tell I'm prepared because I'm at home. I've got some notes, so I'm going to try and reference there instead of going off on these tangents that I do. But I'll probably end up still doing that. I've got a drink here and I've got my trusty vape as well, so I'm going to have a lug on that as we go. All right. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is about stopping gambling. Okay. Now I know I mentioned this last time, but there's a certain thing that keeps sprouting up in like Twitter and what have you. And that is basically about the relapses and stuff. Okay, now I know my last video was a little bit about that, but this is more about stopping on your terms. Okay, so what I mean by that is if you've got to the point where you've discussed everything and everything's out in the open with your friends and your family and what have you, you feel under pressure. I know I did on several occasions, that you've told everybody, and their instant reaction or knee-jerk reaction is that it's simple, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's just simple to stop gambling. The problem is we know it isn't. It's not as simple as just doing that. So now you've sort of confessed, if you like, to your problems. Everybody seems to think they've gone away, and they don't know what to do they? I mean, we've got to imagine how difficult it is to be on the other end of the addiction. Okay, and that's friends and family and stuff. So do they deal with it in a supportive way and keep asking you about it, or do they just shut up and leave you to get on with it? So stopping on your terms. So first and foremost, you've got to be ready to give up gambling, haven't you? If you're not ready to give up, well, not necessarily gambling, but anything, you know what I mean? If you're not really ready, it's not going to succeed, and you're going to become, you're going to relapse. Now, I've always, prior to where I am today, through the years that I tried knocking gambling on the head, I really wanted to give up gambling, but I didn't really want to do it 100%. You know what I mean? So there was that 90 99.9% of me that wanted to give gambling up, because I knew the harm and the damage it was doing for me, my loved ones, and every aspect of the life, as we all know. Okay. But there was that little niggly bit there that was, the selfish me, the addiction holding in, and what have you, that was reluctant to give up. Okay. Now, obviously, that little bastard there is the one that's going to cause you to relapse. Okay. So the 99.9% you've done. Do you see what I'm saying? The 99.9% is achievable. It's that 0.1 that's the bastard that keeps you coming back. Once you've opened up to everybody and you've acknowledged the fact you've got, that's the first thing, isn't it? Acknowledging you've got the problem in the first place. But getting past all of that and physically stopping doing it is that 99.9%. It's that little 0.1 that's whirling away, isn't it? And taking you back to it in your lowest moment. So stopping on your terms, it's getting out of that. I think it's if it's all about your terms, then you're quite likely to relapse. There has to be a bit of external influence, I think. Do you know what I mean? I'm probably going to start swearing in a minute as well. Sorry everybody about my swearing, but I just can't help it. There's that external bit. So if you've opened up to people and you've spoken to your loved ones and stuff like that, you need that input. You need that input from people to be that 0.1. Okay, and that is, for some people it's going to be better. I'm just chucking figures out there, but for a lot of people, there's going to be a bigger percentage that they need support. But do you see what I'm saying? It's that big chunk is the easy bit of just stopping gambling. We've all done it. I must have quit gambling 20 times prior to where I am today, and my over 3-year absence now from it. I must have tried to quit 20 times, and I always fucking went back. Oh, there we go, I'm swearing. I always went back. And that's because it was on my terms. Do you see what I'm saying? So I kind of got to that point where people just assumed that I was doing okay, and I wasn't gambling. So they didn't ask any questions. And I kind of shimmied it. I worked it that way. I wanted it that way. I wanted people to know that I had this problem. I wanted to get it all off my chest, and I wanted people to stop moaning about it and leave me alone, because really, secretly, I wanted to go back gambling. So the minute they didn't ask any questions and just thought, Darren's ticking along okay, once the questions had stopped and all their sort of like keeping an eye on you and all that crap, you've got your own way again, haven't you? But you've got to keep that cemented in place. It's vitally important, because that, like I say, that little percentage that you're not relinquishing, you're not letting go, is the one that's going to cause you to relapse. So that's important. And that is key. Not everybody's got somebody out there, to be able to offer that, which is sad. I see a lot of it on Twitter and what have you, and I feel, not in so many words, because I don't know these people very well, but I do feel there's some people out there that haven't got that support, and that's where people like myself and loads of others online doing the same thing, your Gamblers Anonymous, your Gam Care, and there's loads of forums and stuff like that you can join up to. Okay, so that's where you're going to get that little last bit of support, okay, that's just going to see you over them crappy periods. And they're mightily important, you can't overlook them. I see a lot of the time that, if you're going to do this on your own, it's gonna be bloody hard. Now, don't get me wrong, I expect there are people that have done it on their own and they've told nobody and stuff like that, but you know, they're going to be in the minority. I can assure you that. All right. So that's, you know, stopping on your own terms. So there's one of my little tick lists off. You know. The other thing I wanted to talk about, and this is a little bit off the cuff, really, but is, again, I think I might have mentioned it last time, but I'm just going over things that come up in my head, you know. And that's the acceptance that you've. I did mention it actually. The acceptance, you've got this problem and you can't beat it, okay? You can't beat gambling, okay? As in a sense of you can, you're never going to win. Oh, I was talking about Federer last time, what a joker. But you've got to be that submissive person, yeah, as I was saying. Now, I watched something the other day, believe it or not, it was Barry Humphries, who, for people that don't know, is the guy that plays Dame Edna Everage. And if you don't know who Dame Edna Everage is, then I'm obviously older than I think. But Barry Humphries, he's a clever fucker, you know, and I watched his programme because he was an alcoholic for many years, yeah, and through the height of his fame and stuff, and what have you, and I watched really him sort of stripped naked, not naked as such, but you know, stripped down to, you know, the bare bones, and talking about his addiction and what have you. And he said something really good. I mean, it was short and sweet, you know, what he said, but he was just sat there in the interview. I was talking to him, and he said, "Look, I realised after so many years that I couldn't drink successfully, and I thought that was an amazing way of putting it, you know, and I kind of thought, well, yeah, that was me in my day. I mean, I just couldn't gamble successfully. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's nuts, isn't it, to say that, but there was no win for me, was there? You know, there's no win for us problem gamblers. If we do win, it just creates more hassle. I mean, and if we lose, then we're, you know, you can't win. There's no win, is there? There's no win if you win, and there's no win if you lose. I mean, that sounds daft, doesn't it? But you know, even if you win, you lose. Do you know what I mean? So that was the kind of thing that he accepted, that he just couldn't drink successfully, and I kind of got that. Do you know what I mean? I kind of understood what he meant, because I do know drinkers that are problem drinkers, and I know it's slightly different because gamblers are normally in isolation and drinkers, but when they're having a good time, nobody else is. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, that's I just thought it was a really good coin of phrase, if you like, you know. So I thought that was worth mentioning, you know. But look it up, maybe the documentary is really good. Barry Humphries is his name is. Anyhow, next one. Changing people. Obviously, when we're in addiction, we're fucking manipulative bastards. We're always trying to get our own way, and it's again going back to the first thing, isn't it? It's all on our terms. You know, it's all about what we want, and just being generally fucking selfish. And we blame everybody else, don't we, for how we are. This is why our relationships falter, and you know, and it just becomes a bit of a rut, doesn't it? You know, so everyone's to blame, but fucking us. But really, we know deep down inside the woes, the troubles, the sadness, the guilt, the anxiety, the depression, and all of that is created by what we're doing. But we need that one thing, don't we? You know, we need to you know, gamble on a daily basis, or you know, we need to gamble whenever we can, when the funds are there, and we need to do it to excess. So the current changing people thing, I mean we might be different, but I went through a lot of that. I wanted to try and change people, obviously because I was deep down inside of me, I was harbouring this fucking huge secret, wasn't I? And I wanted to change people to accommodate my problem, which is fucking unreasonable, isn't it? You know, when you think about it. But we do that because we're engrossed in this fucking minging addiction, and we're not seeing things right. You know, it's all about us. It's about our little bubble, our little world, and you know, everybody about you. It's just, especially our close ones, our loved ones, and what have you. They're just an easy target, aren't they? You know, and looking back at it, I mean, I was an absolute fucking twat, you know, I was really, and slowly I'm rebuilding them relationships and stuff, and acknowledging and talking to people that you know, I've hurt in the past. I don't think them relationships and them friendships and what have you will be the same as they were. They can't be. But they can be better than what they were back then. Do you know what I mean? They can't be what they were originally, but then that transitional period to when I was an absolute shithead, there's a middle ground there, and today they're okay, you know, and people understand who I was and where I was, and thankfully where I've got to today. But that's just another thing that you're left with from the addiction. But I'm glad to have a few of those people still in my life. Granted, as I said, it's never going to be as fantastic and as solid as it once was, but I haven't lost it. You know, lost them people in my life. So that's only a good thing. The presence of people will come and go. I mean, a lot of the people that I used to hang around with were because they were people from the bookies and what have you. But you know, they're the kind of people not really disappointed that I'm not with, and I'm hoping that you know, that they've got through their struggles and stuff, because a lot of them were just, whether they like it or not, they were problem gamblers as well. They might have not acknowledged the fact, but I know too well that these people were doing as much money as I was. So you know, and on as a regular basis as I was, if not more. So you know, they're problem gamblers, aren't they? But they might well be still out there. I hope they're not, and I hope they're doing okay. Hopefully they're watching these vids and seeking out maybe that, you know. But anyway, so moving on, relapse again. Yeah, so I'm back to relapse, because I think a lot of people take the whole the relapse thing as a real kick in the nuts, you know. Of which it is. Okay, nobody likes to fail, but it's not failure. It's a learning curve. Okay, it's something you've got to experience, really, and to take knowledge from and take strength from. Okay, and if you don't relapse, great. Yeah, as simple as that. If you don't relapse, then fucking good news. I hope nobody relapses. That's the goal, isn't it? Yeah, so we're gonna, you know, stop gambling and never get it, never relapse, and all is well. We move on. The chances are that people will, but it's what you do with that experience that matters. And just to go back, I realise that in a lot of my videos I don't really talk about my past, so I'm going to try and add some stuff about me, because obviously that's why I'm talking, because it's my own experiences, isn't it, that I'm trying to talk about. And I seem to have first 4 videos fucking bypass that altogether. So but you know, with my relapses and stuff, I mean, again, it's going back to that sort of stopping on my terms thing. Okay, so I do it and work out that you know, everyone was sort of happy. I was swimming along, and then poof, off I went again. You know, fucking nuts. But you know, I did learn from things. Obviously, the fucking rock bottoms, yeah, when you fucking absolutely do your fucking nuts and you ain't got a pot to piss in, I mean, they're a hard pill to swallow. But it's like, you know, I'm not going to go into monetary terms with it, but let's say you got a £5, okay, and no, sorry, let's say you got 500 quid, okay, and that's for the month or whatever, and you go and do 300 of it. That's, you haven't done your nut, and what you're doing there is you're hoping that you're not going to be found out in the month that you've got, aren't you? We've all been there, you know. So now the 500 you've got to soldier on through, you've got 200 and you've got to make that last, and you've got to pretend you've got money, and you're going to do it, aren't you? Because as a gambler, you'll get by, you'll make that work. Yeah, obviously if you go and do the 200 and you got nothing for 3 weeks, you're rock bottom, aren't you? You know, people do this talk about this rock bottom, and it's an all-time fucking life crisis. I always used to think, and I'm not wrong, people deal with it different, okay, so I'm not saying that that's, you know, my opinion's different, it's just my opinion, okay, but I used to think rock bottoms of that, you know, of them examples, yeah, so that if you sort of had a week to go till payday, or 2 weeks or what have you, and you were fucking skint, I mean, that's rock bottom to me, you know, that, you know, but then as a gambler, I'm going to find money. So then it was down to foraging and fucking selling shit and, you know, scamming the fuck out of people just to get yourself by for the next 2 weeks, you know. But what I've learnt, you know, in life is how little you actually need, you know, once all your fucking normal stuff's bought and paid for, so you know, for me, rent and your council tax, I mean, they're paramount to get out of the fucking way, because you need a roof over your head, don't you? So your bills, your gas, your water, electric, things like that, okay, you know, you've got to keep them up together. What I found towards the tail end of my gambling is that I had some control. I know it sounds daft, but obviously I had one big blowout before I stopped on the 7th of June 2016, okay, but prior to that I found that I could control myself somewhat, right? So you know, my bills and stuff were paid, and I kind of had things under control, and I was kind of spending every other penny that I had, granted, and I was running close to the wind quite a lot, yeah. So I would sort of pillage away and maybe, you know, spend a few of the bills and hope something would come in, because I'm a sparky, okay, somebody could phone me up when I'm at work tomorrow and give me a little private job, so I'm always reliant on that, or I was, you know what I mean. And then I had that final blip, okay, but going back to that little rock bottom, I mean, you can, you know, 2 years before I sort of, you know, my big final stop date that I'm currently on, I was still doing that sort of, you know, skint before 2 weeks, you know, before paydays kind of thing, and I mean, that's rough, isn't it? And then that's when the blagger in us comes out, when we're trying to, you know, forage around for money, and it's that exposure thing. We don't want to be exposed. you know, if there's gamblers out there that are just, you know, on their own, I mean, they're suffering in immense silence, and that, you know, that must be quite torturous. But at the time, I mean, I had a missus and stuff. I mean, I live on my own now, and that's the way gambling rocks, isn't it? I have my little and every other weekend and stuff, which is, you know, great. She's, you know, growing up fast and stuff, but gambling, when I was gambling, I was doing it. Was I doing it because I was lonely or bored or what? But now I'm on my own, ain't I? So you know, I've got to deal with that loneliness. And I mean, if I was gambling because I was lonely, then, you know, in theory I should be gambling now, shouldn't I? But I'm not. I kind of learned to live with myself, which is a fucking challenge on its own, I tell you. But yeah, you know, it's, you know, you adapt, don't you? The brain is a wonderful thing, and it can cope with all of these things, and you know, get you through some really fucking shit times. Okay, so relapse, gone off again. I don't even know where the fuck I was now. But so relapse. Let me have a fucking drink. Dry now. It's not alcohol, by the way. It's some sort of energy tablet thing. Fucking hell, what is it? Hydration thing. I've just done a 3k run on the old treadmill and I'm fucked. So relapse. So yes. So taking it to heart. Granted, we all have done, and it's inevitable. You're going to feel that way. You're going to want to, you know, really be cross with yourself. Really fucked off, and just think, well, what was the point of all that? I mean, especially if you've gone any sort of, you know, decent distance. I mean, let's say a decent distance is a fucking day, but you know, if you've gone sort of a month or something, you know, 2 weeks, a month, and then you do your bollocks in, I mean, that's heartbreaking. Okay, but as much as it's heartbreaking, it's you need to work out what that was all about, and you need to prevent, obviously, it from happening again, and trying to understand what you can do better next time, what led you up to that, and how you can prevent it in the future. So again, it's just boiling down to the sort of, you know, getting your money out of the way. I mean, one of my chaps here, I'm going to mention you again, Mark. I hope you're doing all right, mate. But Mark, you know, he's, I hope he won't mind me saying, but he's just plodding to work with a tenner, and leaving everything at home. So, you know, that's the right thing to do, isn't it? You know, if you leave the money out of the equation, I mean, if Mark does his nuts in a day, he's only lost a tenner. I know it's still, he's gone and gambled, but he can still, you know, get himself some grub and, you know, pay the bills, you know. So, although, you know, doesn't matter what, when you're a problem gambler, how much money you blow, it's all relevant, and you've gone to gamble, okay. But it's trying to keep some money that out of the way, so that you can keep a roof over your head and feed your bloody self, you know. So relapse, okay. So just don't go too heavy on yourself, okay. If you do, you will go into that mindset of, you know, what's the point, okay. You just see a relapse and go, well, fuck it, it's happened, off we go again, okay. And if you go in really softly with it, and like, shit happens, all right, I've gone and done a load of money in the bookies or online or what have you, I'm starting again, okay, off you go again, and you'll go longer. Trust me, you will go longer. So let's work it out. You go 2 weeks, all right, and then you're in the bookies or whatever. If you go with that mindset, that relapse, don't beat yourself up about it, you'll go longer, okay. If you beat yourself up about it and stuff, you'll be gambling again within a few days. That's generally what I found out, and a few others that I've spoken to similar, okay. If you treat it with, I'm expected to relapse, you know, I know it's going to be hard, and I know from experience of people that have done it, like me saying it, and others on YouTube and doing, you know, these blogs and things, that relapse is part of your recovery, okay? So expect it, okay? If it don't happen, great. Fucking marvellous, you know what I mean? That's the ideal thing, but expect it to happen. And when it does, don't be shocked. Don't fucking beat yourself up about it, definitely, okay? Because just skip over it. Obviously, you know, it's happened. Try and take something away from it. Okay, the worst thing you can do is just fucking ignore it. But, you know, sit down and ponder it and, you know, work out, you know, what may have caused it, you know, if you can, you know, what circumstances led you to go into bookies or go back online and spend some money, you know. And if you can do that, you're going to, you know, get that pattern going, aren't you? And that's what's important. Moving on, okay. So, you know, fucking 30 minutes gone already. Fuck me, I talk some shit. So yeah, so that's about it really. I think I've got my points across. Probably gone over a load of crap again that I went over last time. But I'm really proud of everyone that's out there doing this. You know, proud of, you know, the people I'm speaking to on Twitter. You know, and all my supporters on here. I want to say hello to Mika as well. I think I said it was Mika. You keep posting up, and Saj Master. I don't know if that's right, mate, but you always say hello, mate, so thanks for that. And there's somebody else there as well, a couple of marks I've got on there. So yeah, hello to everyone. I think I've covered everyone there. If I haven't, I'll catch you on the next video. But yeah, so that's me done for a minute. Next time I might be in a van, or I might have to fucking scrap the fucking thing, I don't know, but might have a new van, who knows. But yeah, I hope everyone's alright. Always message me if you need to, okay? Always get back to you, okay? If there's anybody out there watching this that's struggling in silence, or, you know, just got any questions that want answering. I mean, I don't know it all. I mean, I only know about recovery because I'm in it, and I think I'm doing all right, okay? And I've got a world of knowledge about trying to give up, as loads of others have, you know. So, you know, I'm approachable. Drop me a message if you have to, and I'll get back to you. Yeah, there's no problem with that at all. I'm, as you can see, I'm just me, most approachable bloke going, and I'm happy to help. The more people I can, you know, help get on the road of recovery, the better. And I'd love to see people, you know, kick the habit, because I know what a great feeling it is to not have gambling, you know, on your back. All right. I'm in such a better place now for not gambling. You know, I still worry about things, but that's just human life, isn't it? It's just human life. And I've been there on a couple of my first videos, you know, that, you know, the fucking shit days and the worrying, that's normal, isn't it? That's being human. You know, we don't do that just because we're problem gamblers, okay? We do that because we're human. It's just part and parcel of it, isn't it? So yeah, so, you know, come and speak to me if you're struggling. I'd rather you speak to me than not, and just sit there watching these videos. Come and say hello. You know, if you Twitter, I'm on there at gambling_sucks. Okay, come and join up and follow me, and then you can private message me if you need to. Okay, and see some of the absolute tripe I put on there as well. But you know, I'd rather you come and speak to me, and, you know, if I don't know, I can point you in the right direction, okay, and you know, help you get help, you know, in your area if you're struggling to find stuff, you know, and, you know, advise you, you know, with stuff, you know, anything, just ask me, okay. And I really prefer you to do that than sit in silence and suffer, okay. You don't need to suffer. There's loads of help. I mean, you can Google stuff yourself. You don't have to come and speak to me, but if you want to, I'm more than welcome. I'm more than happy, you know, for you to come and say hello and ask me something. Don't feel you can't approach me or anybody else doing this, because we're all saying the same thing, okay? And that is, we're here to help, and drop us a line. Yeah, there's loads of us out here doing this now. I'm fairly new to it, and there's Andy who's been doing it yonks and yonks and yonks, and you know, he helped me immensely. You know, I was just watching him without him even knowing, so I owe a lot to Andy. But again, you know, he's got a wealth of knowledge with stuff, and he's just an ambassador for this, you know, stop gambling malarkey. Okay, so you know, go and find people. There's loads of us out there doing it. Like I said, type it into YouTube, into Google, whatever. You're gonna find help. Okay, but you gotta, you know, you gotta want it. 99.9% of you ain't good enough. Okay, it's got to be 100%, isn't it? Yeah. So that 1% is out there. It's me, it's Andy, it's all the other YouTubers. It's you know, a Google search away is that 0.1%. All right. Don't take that as gospel. It's just a figure I'm pulling out the air. But all right. So I wish everyone all the best. Okay. I don't even have one lug on this. Look, I'm going to part with one. All right. So I wish you all the best. And I'll speak to you fairly soon. Hopefully. Oh, I didn't show you the mic, did I? Hang on a minute. There's the mic. Look. Oh, there. Fucking there. Little dinky thing. So hopefully that's working all right. And I wish everyone all the best. Okay. And I'll speak to you within the next week or so. But any problems, please message me. Find me on Twitter or on here. Okay. Love to you all. Love to you all.